How's it going, everyone? I am Dylan. This is my cousin Carlo. This is All You Can Board, and this is episode 5 of our Rate and Roast Your Collections. We've got 5 new collections here, 4 of them from patrons that we're going to take a look at, and we're going to roast and maybe a little bit of rating, but mostly roasting. Mostly roasting. It's almost, I would say, like, what's the percentage you think of like roast?
Hopefully to at least 80 or 90% roast.
90% roast. Well, 10%.
Okay. Wow, that's not the answer you were looking for.
I'm roasting you now.
Yeah, 90%. Yes, 90.
So the first collection we're going to look at today, if you're not familiar with this series, but I imagine most of you are, we just basically take photos of other people's collections, board game collections that they've sent in to us, and we're going to look through them, and we're just going to talk about everything that's on there, and mostly just roast their decisions on how they sorted things, or what games they bought, or how they stack things like that. Yep. And it's all fun and games.
And if you'd like to know how you can send in your collection for us to potentially roast, stick around to the end of the video, and we'll tell you how you can send those in to us.
Exactly. So the first collection we're going to look at here is Clay, and he's got a variety of different shelves we're going to look at. It's not just like one giant shelf. So the first one we're going to look at is this one right here, this nice teal shelf with the glass doors. And the very first thing I want to mention, because we mentioned it off camera, is that Feast for Odin gets higher shelf billing than Agricola. Clay, I already love your collection. This is a great decision you've made here.
But let's not forget how many people have told us specifically that top shelf billing doesn't apply to them. And for someone who, Planet's just sitting on the top.
That's the top.
So that's you're saying that that's Clay's favorite game, just because on the top.
It's
of the
either
shelf. Even though he's covered it up with plants.
Top shelf billing doesn't always have to be your like number one game in your top 50, but it has to be the one that you put in such high regard for some reason that it gets top shelf billing. So for whatever reason, Planet gets top shelf billing. Maybe that's just because there's a bunch of plants around. I would say,
based on that, you're also assuming that each shelf is progressively. A higher esteemed
when I organize my shelves, I want the ones that I level to be the ones that people like. Those ones people are going to see. I want them to be asking questions about the games I love.
And you want people to be exactly like you, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Because if you just scroll down, you can see. So the games that are under the shelf on the floor there, Scythe and Lost Ruins of Arnak. So those are his least favorite games, is what you're saying.
Do you take the games you love and just toss them on the carpet?
No, I don't. But Josh, who is another patron of ours, recently showed us not too long ago about under-couch billing, which were games that were ready for when you're sitting around the coffee table.
Under-couch billing is different because that's the one where you're at the couch and you just go like, surprise, and you pull it out kind of thing, and here's what we're going to play. So I feel like that's like one you don't want people to see. You want them to just like see when it hits the table. To put it under the shelf here, like what kind of regard do you have for Scythe and Lost Ruins of Arnak? What lack of regard do you have for these games? That's what I'm curious about. Okay, so getting back to the actual games here.
Now that we've gone off topic about Feast for Odin and Agricola.
There are a lot of great games on this shelf. Like I would say that I've either played all these games or wanted to play or heard of all of them, maybe the odd one I haven't. Like So Clover, obviously we have. Like Floriferous I haven't played, but I've heard great things about it. Patchwork Lost Cities. I don't know what
great games.
I don't know what Space Team is. I don't know what Castle Party is. Have you heard of either of those?
Castle Party. No, I've seen the box for Castle Party. I'm familiar with it, but I haven't actually played. I don't know much about it. Space Team, I have no idea. Bonanza's awesome. Yeah. Long Shot, the dice game, I have, but I haven't played. Oh, he's got the Explore and Draw. That's the Isle of Cats roll and write, which was pretty new as well.
Yep.
For Sale, awesome game. Like I'm liking a lot of the small box, the Arboretum, like a lot of my favorites here.
Yep.
I don't like the fact he's got Dog Lover and no Cat Lady, but whatever, we'll let it slide. He's got Calico down there filling in the role of the cats.
Yeah, there you go. He just wants to have like a variety of different animals featured in his. He's got the plants up here. He's got a bunch of wildlife in his boxes, right? He's got Feast for Odin with the crow showing right there. It's great. Yeah.
And I will say, at least credit to him, he does have his 2-player only games together at least. But is it only Patchwork and Lost Cities? I guess those are only 2-player onlys that we can see. I guess there's other ones behind. So
we should also mention before we even go to the next shelf, we should touch on the fact that behind the top shelf is in a completely other row of games. Some of these are fantastic, and they're never going to get seen.
Hana Makoji and Seven Wonders Duel as 2-player only, hiding behind the other 2-player. That I don't know if
Seven Wonders Duel is hiding behind there as well. Yeah. Welcome to
your party, your Just One, and your code names all spread out. Your Scapegoat.
What do you
had Decrypto in the front
Betrayal?
Before? I don't know. Nothing. What is Kokor Avenue Kodam? Yeah, I don't know.
A couple I haven't heard of here that I can almost understand.
Red Cathedral sneaking in on the shelf. That's a testament though to the awesome just like packaging by DeVere to put such a meaty game in such a tiny box.
I thought this was Bonanza at first, but it's
gangsters. I think it's a similar theme or like similar game, maybe just different theme or something. But welcome to A lot of good options. Yeah, he's got some rolling rights mixed in there.
I understand the need to like maximize space and have to have a row of games behind, but I think it's time to reevaluate just a couple of them to pull them to the front. I think Seven Wonders Duel should be in the front. I think
Seven Wonders Duel is fine.
Wow. This is Point Salad should be in the front maybe. I'm not even gonna comment on that. There's just one. I think there's a couple here. Maybe you could every so often switch them out to the front.
Agreed.
But let's go back to the other shelf here because we have a couple other rows of games, and there was a bunch of Root, which we obviously have seen.
A couple of expansions,
and Vast as well, which is a game from Leader Games that I haven't played that I've wanted to play for a while.
Do you think he's got Verdant on the way? And if so, which game is going to move off this shelf to place Verdant next to Cascadia and Calico?
It should be Ares Expedition.
Probably Feast for Odin under the shelf and under the cabinet.
You just want it to be on the carpet underneath.
Also, I have to point out, I'm going to roast you for this, Clay. You've got Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition, but I don't see Race for the Galaxy anywhere yet. Hopefully it's on another shelf, but...
or even just the regular Terraforming Mars. But I guess, again, if you...
regular Terraforming Mars. Ahead of Race for the Galaxy.
If you don't know, if you can only get one game, at least this is the mixture of both of them, I guess. You get a little bit of both experiences, right?
But an inferior version, yes.
Sure, but yes. Agreed. Side note, do you pronounce it Vast or Vost?
I think it's probably Vast.
Isn't that from a Seinfeld episode where someone says Vost or something like that?
I don't know, actually. I'm a little out of touch with my Seinfeld, but...
on the bottom shelf...
I have to say, wait, close your Agricola box, Clay. It's coming apart. It looks like almost a second game next to it.
You probably can't because everything's all loose in the box and everything all over the place. Yeah, that's probably a problem.
Your Agricola hates Ziploc bags. Also, I just have to... This isn't so much a roast as I just find it funny that you've got Ankh, Gods of Egypt, next to a game about pizza. There's just something that just seems a little, I don't know.
Is it Onk or is it Ank?
It's Onk. It's Onk.
I haven't played Onk and I haven't played Red Rising or Libertalia. There's a few games in here that I want to play, but I appreciate that you have them on here.
Stonemeyer section here at the bottom of these 4 games.
Big Stonemeyer fan. Dune Imperium, great choice as well. There's some really solid games on your shelf. I'm a big fan of your collection so far. Then we've got another drawer.
There's Cat Lady. Oh, but it's in the sliding drawer. So Cat Lady gets tucked away in a drawer, and then Dog Lovers proudly display.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Not too pleased.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like you're very pleased.
Yeah, I'm not too pleased. Oh, but he's got, look, Keyforge tokens.
Ooh.
All the Keyforge tokens.
That makes you happy. Now
nice.
you rebounded.
Yeah, Clay.
Minus 10 points for Cat Lady, plus 25 for Keyforge.
No, not minus 10 for Cat Lady. For Cat Lady being jammed in a box compared to Dog Lover.
Of course, of course. Yeah. There's some other great games in here that I'm surprised are tucked away.
Innovation. Oh, amazing game, Clay. Innovation.
And one of the crew versions should be on display somewhere.
And why are they split up? Why aren't they next to each other? What is going on? Why are your versions of the crew not next to each other?
Cockroach Poker, Hanabi.
Yeah, he's got Shot and Totten. No battle line, but Shot and Totten. And he had Lost Cities. He's got some Knizias in there.
You've done a really
No Thanks is really good.
I think he's done a really good job of building up a good collection of small box games.
There's
definitely a really solid amount of.
I was gonna say he has a lot of the ones that we've talked about on the channel. We looked at Arboretum and stuff before, so really good assortment of small box games here. I really like to see that.
This is the second shelf, so we got a whole other set of games here, and a lot of other ones we've played or know about.
Biblios, nice. Yeah. Furnace, which we'll be talking about at some point in the coming month or two, probably on the channel.
Yeah.
New York Zoo, which you recently decided to get rid of. Caper Europe, I'm really hoping to play soon. Rolling Realms, what happened to the Stonemeyer shelf? Why is Rolling Realms over here?
Good point. It's on the wrong shelf.
You thought I was going to let you off the hook for that one.
But see, which of these shelves does he put in higher regard? Because maybe he loves Rolling Realms so much that he's I gotta put this on a good shelf.
But look, he's even mixing up his auctions. Modern art. I'm thrilled to see modern art here. Just amazing.
But you think it should be right here, right?
Yeah, definitely. But also, QE is also auction. I haven't played Dinkopolis yet. I have it at home. I don't know if it's auction. I might have some auctioning, but I feel like the auction games. You got Biblios and Furnace up here. Those should be maybe a little more.
Oh, he's got your favorite game, Magic Maze.
Yeah. See, I don't mind it. It's just not. I just don't love it.
I know it's just a thing now. Every single time we see it. Tapestry, which I haven't played. You've played it. I know Braden actually really likes it.
I'm not crazy, but also another Stonemeyer game out of the Stonemeyer. But honestly, Tapestry might be my least favorite Stonemeyer game I've played so far.
Right.
I haven't played it in person, and maybe I got to play it again on BGA. But definitely bounced off of it a decent.
I love Cats. Great choice as well.
Yep.
Disney's Villainous. I have Marvel Villainous. I still haven't played. It's kicking up around the shelf over there. I got to actually get it to the table. It's a really popular game, but I'm surprised you've limited yourself to just one, considering how many packs of those there are.
I'm surprised you're letting him off the hook for the fact that he's got Marvel Splendor, Marvel United, but no Marvel Champions.
Not yet. Maybe
You're okay with him?
Maybe it's on a different shelf.
So you hate Marvel Champions now?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's it. You heard it here first. I've fallen out of favor with Marvel Champions, and I'm revealing that.
It just happened out of nowhere. Yeah, out of nowhere.
Wasn't it you that said, and maybe you already commented this, and I wasn't listening, but in a different video, that Dungeon Pets is one that's like apparently really, really good.
So I've played it once on BGA. I was expecting to like it a little more. I still enjoyed it a decent amount. I'll go back and try it out a couple more times, but I'm glad I played it on BGA because I don't think I would buy it based on how much I liked it. Like, it's fairly complex to teach other people as well. So
yeah,
I've enjoyed it, but yeah, I don't feel the need to own it.
Cool. All right, and let me go to one more shelf over here. I think it's actually two more shelves, if I'm not mistaken. So these ones are just like a couple games on display, and he's got...
Wait a sec. Is this another copy of Feast for Odin?
Or is this... normally I would roast this because obviously the expansion deserves to be next to whatever game it goes with. But in this case, now Feast for Odin gets 2 spots on the shelf, including a feature spot on a cube, which immediately makes this...
Well, it's sharing it with your copy. So,
yeah, but he just tucked it. There's some other games behind there too. He's just tucking some stuff.
Yeah, this is just like the extras. I don't really know where else to put these, so I'll just cram them in your kind of shelf.
But yet they're on display all...
display in a corner next to some folded tables and a desk here with a couple remotes.
This could be the nicest. This could be the nicest room
with My City stashed halfway behind Voices in My Head. Prominent display here, Dylan. And what's Rise of Ix doing here, separate from Dune? Yeah, Belfair for Everdell is up here.
This is
Clay. You do know that Meadow. This is the base game, right? This isn't the expansion up here.
This is. I was gonna say maybe this is the expansion shelf because there's also another Golden Temple one down here. But
it's another.
But it seems like there's just a couple that aren't expansions.
I can't look anymore. Just
get it away. Yeah. And then lastly,
you got a couple more here,
I think this is the same shelf, but it's what's behind the shelf.
Oh, okay,
yes. So this is like
plenty of merchants. The expansions are all the extra characters.
He's got the Arnak expansion. He's got the Tapestry expansion.
He's got Upside Down, Don't Get Got, which we've been dying.
Oh, there's
all
the other villainous.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
and
God,
see, he just put the Feast for Odin box cover next to Yorkopoly in front of these.
Very
Clay, I don't know what's going on here. You gotta let us
know.
What is this, ladies and gentlemen game? I don't know what that is. Oh, you got your Tapestry expansions.
He's got one root over here. Even
yeah,
three roots on the other one.
Keep your root together.
Charterstone. I think this might be his least favorite Stonemaier game.
Yeah, probably bottom shelf there. Yeah.
Wait,
Tiny Towns.
Are you telling me you like Charterstone better than Tapestry?
No, actually,
okay,
no.
So
no,
Charterstone's your least
favorite. Yeah. Charterstone's probably least favorite Stonemaier so far. Family Feud game. I wonder if there's anything.
I used to have a Family Feud game, but when I was like growing up, and you actually had to like put the card into the spots, and then you'd reveal them, sort of like the way
that's how the survey says.
Thing. Yeah,
okay,
exactly. It was fun,
cool.
But I mean, it's.
Oh, you just tried to scroll down real quick so I wouldn't see Carcassonne up there. Hey?
No, of course not. I would never.
Well done, Clay. Carcassonne, Santorini, both on the same shelf. You got Hive as well. Oh my God, though Tapestry expand. You got 2 Tapestry expansions on separate shelves, separate from the base game. And I was ready to give you so many points for Carcassonne. I know. Yeah, it's
Merchant's
another. Yep,
I think we got to close it off there because this is just getting too out of hand.
Wrapping it up, Clay.
Overall, lots of great games in that collection, though, especially when it comes to small box games. I think you have a solid lineup of small box games, but I think it's also time to do a little bit of just reorganization, swap into some games to get some of these expansions next to each other to the base game.
Or I mean, we can always say there's always room for a little more Knizia in your life.
Of course, always room for a bit more Knizia in everyone's lives.
Even though we had like Modern Art and El Dorado and Lost Cities and all these great ones, like more Knizia.
Even if you're not into board games, there should be more Knizia
in your life. That's true. Exactly. That's true.
Okay, so now we're going...
Thank you, Clay, and that's another Patreon supporter right there, so thanks.
Yeah, so we're going into Drew, and we're going to start with what his collection looked like in, I think it was March 2020, he said, or sometime in 2020.
Right.
This is how he started his collection. So we won't roast it or whatever, because this is just how the collection started, even though...
You don't want to race the Play-Doh or anything?
Yeah, I want to say so much about it, but I'm going to hold my tongue. But this transformed into this whole collection right here. So we've got a gigantic collection.
Nicely done, sir. Nicely done.
This has grown to this size in basically like 2 years, 2.5 years, whatever it is.
Before you zoom in, I want to say, this is a very common theme we've seen in a lot of previous videos. 2 things here. One is the old like Monopoly life sequence games just kind of jammed at the top of the, like above the shelf, not actually inside. And the second thing that we've seen a lot of is Too Many Bones being prominently
No
displayed
kidding.
on the top of a shelf.
No kidding.
I think this is probably like the 6th or 7th person in
Yeah.
this collection we've looked at who has Too Many Bones.
I think we really need to play Too Many Bones.
Yeah,
Just to like
yeah.
see what the fuss about, see how
It's
we
just hard
feel
to know
about
where's
it.
the starting point. You just get the base game. You just spend the whole
We need to
$800 or
just-
$1,000 or whatever, and just buy all
Yeah.
the things, the trove chest. I don't know.
We need to just contact Chip Theory Games and be like, listen, we want to dive into Too Many Bones. Help us.
Yeah,
like, what do we do
exactly.
here? Okay, so starting off, the very first thing I want to do is just comment on, I'm really curious what is in these containers over here. Are these components? Are these, because I'm pretty sure these are the type of containers I used for our Gloomhaven characters.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think I got them from Michael's.
Well, and he does have Jaws the Lion right up there.
Yeah, so
it could be.
I'm wondering if he like, and I didn't see that online or anything. Like I just did that randomly.
Right,
So it'd be
yeah,
funny
yeah.
if he did the same thing, and that's each of the classes or something. I'm just curious. Anyways, what's in there?
Like he's got his like very like narrative games, like the Ryan Lawcat one, Sleeping God Above and Below, and then he's got the Plaid Hat series of kind of more narrative games up there. So I like that kind of organization. War of the Ring and Star Wars Rebellion are considered like two of the best, like super long, intense 2-player only games. We haven't played either one, but they're high up on BGA.
I almost bought
the
Rebellion.
Blood Rage snuck its way in on that shelf, but I'll let it slide.
I almost bought Rebellion like when I started getting into board gaming.
Wow.
Because I knew I had like, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but I
I was
have
gonna
like
say this, the lack of
nostalgia with it.
space. I guess it's a specific IP,
Yeah.
not just general space.
Yeah,
right? So that's maybe.
and
why
I'd
it
heard
appealed to
good
you
things
more.
about it, and the only reason I didn't was because it's a pricey game. But at some point, I would love to play it. I'm gonna just quickly jump over just because I want to comment on it quickly. Another person that has a bunch of Root and Vast right next to it.
Yeah, it's true.
Vast.
Another.
right next to it.
And a lot of these kind of like older, like a lot of the collections we see have like some older games, but like a lot of these are like older, like Last Night on Earth is one of those ones that's really hard to find. It kind of like the box just has that old dingy look to it kind of thing. Same with Betrayal. Ghost Stories I guess isn't that old, but it's rare that we see Ghost Stories on people's shelves. We're
It's
always
true.
happy to see it because like we always feel like it's one of those games that more people should play because it's such a brutally hard co-op, but like it seems like everyone overlooks it because I don't know, we've talked about the box, the theme. Some people think like, Ghost Stories doesn't sound that interesting. I don't know.
I'm starting to recognize the games that are like, I don't want to call them hidden gems because people talk about them, but are like not widely accepted as popular games kind of thing. Like, and I maybe thought they were because we like them or we talk about them, but I'm realizing from not seeing them in people's collections or not hearing other people talk about them, like, oh, maybe
And
we
Ghost
are in the
Stories is one
minority
of those,
of these. I think Ghost Stories is I don't want to say it's completely unpopular because I know a lot of people do talk about it.
Yeah.
But I rarely do see it on shelves, and I rarely hear people talk about it nowadays. Like the odd time people talk about the difficulty, but that's about it, right? There are a couple games in shrink wrap here.
I was gonna say Sleeping Gods was in shrink, and some of these other ones up here.
Terraforming Mars, Lord of the Rings.
Wait, is that Ares Expedition though?
I think so.
Yeah, sad.
We'll
And
leave it-
again,
leave
another
it in the
collection
shrink.
with Ares Expedition and No Race for the Galaxy. I hope not.
No, we haven't scrolled down yet.
I know,
Maybe.
but I was right about the last one.
It should have been
Clay
higher,
didn't
right?
have Race for the Galaxy, did he?
That's true. He's got the regular Terraforming Mars.
Oh, if he has that and Ares Expedition, and then he doesn't have Race for the
You're gonna be
Galaxy, it's gonna be
really
even worse. Yeah.
Okay. He's got Merchant Scope as well, another person with
Yeah.
that.
Tiny Towns again, nice to see.
And the expansion.
Yep. Yep.
Photosynthesis makes me happy because
and that's Under the Moonlight. I didn't even know there was an
I've
expansion
considered
for it.
getting the expansion, but now that they're releasing that, I don't want to say new version, but that like different version of Evergreen or whatever it's called.
Yep.
I'm gonna wait to play that. But Photosynthesis is another one that kind of I think is in the same vein as like Ghost Stories. I know a lot of people like it, but I don't think it's uber popular. Like it's not one of those games
No,
you've seen in
I
a
think
lot of
you're right.
collections.
I think you're right. I think a lot of people tend to overlook it.
Yeah, Babylonia.
Yeah, very,
Makes you
very nice
happy.
to see. And looks like he kind of restrained himself. Normally, when we see these of the North Sea or whatever, like usually people have like all the games.
Right,
He's like
right.
he's only got the 2.
Okay,
But both Century games.
I'm gonna
but that's what we
ruin
used
your
to
day
want.
here. I'm gonna ruin
Uh-oh.
your day. Okay, so he's got Ares Expedition, he's got Terraforming Mars, and he's got Roll for the Galaxy.
Oh my god! Hey, now if you don't have Race, with each game you get that's similar to Race but not Race, you're just like losing points. Like
How many points is he
hate-
down right now?
I don't know, man. There's
75.
too many negatives. Yeah,
75.
I don't really know how to get. Yeah.
Feast Rodent and Shrink? No.
Ooh, how do you
No,
feel?
what
Wait,
are you
Did he
doing?
open Ark Nova before?
No, I think
Feast
Ark Nova
Road,
might
or is
be in
Ark Nova
Shrink,
also
too.
in Shrink?
No, a lot of shrink wrap games
Yeah,
here.
yeah, it's a lot of viticultures and Shrink.
Yeah.
Okay, open your games. Punch out the components.
you
It's
know what I
fun. It's
think?
an enjoyable experience.
I think this is another person like Jonesy who just bought a bunch of games for us to look at the collection.
He did
right?
say that he found he was a big fan of Table Knots and Foster the Meeple before. Shout out to both those channels. Great people, great content.
Yep.
Before coming over to our channel, so maybe it's a combination of like their tastes and our tastes, and he just buys the game looking for some clout and some collection. Adrian?
Because even like Wingspan, like I think is in shrink, but he's also got. Sorry, the expansions are in shrink.
I was gonna
but the base game isn't or whatever. Anyways, there's a lot of shrink grab games here.
What is that? Oh, The Pursuit of Happiness. Okay, yeah, I've heard of it, just never played it before.
I thought you were pointing at the Networks, which is a great game. I don't have it anymore, but it is. It was very fun.
Oh look, Quacks and your favorite game, Cubitos.
Yeah, that's gonna be the one you do for me now.
Exactly.
Let's take a look at the small games here on the side. I'll zoom in a little bit more. Because he's got a collection of them here, and there's some great
Santorini,
ones.
amazing.
Radlands, Patchwork, Watergate, Land vs. Sea, Lost City, Seven Wonders Duel.
Wait, I'm interested though because, Santorini technically goes above 2 players, but we both don't really play it much, or if at all, with more than 2. But Land vs. Sea, we both really liked the 3-player mode, and I noticed it's in here with the 2-player only games. I'm curious if Drew tried it at 3 and specifically preferred it at 2.
Yeah, or maybe it's just a matter of like. He often plays 2-player games, and that's one that gets lumped in, so he keeps it there.
Right. Maybe if he's going to play a 3-player game, he doesn't want like that type of tile laying game or something. But anyways, interesting to see.
Let us know. He's also got the small.
I was going to give him a hard time for having Lost Cities, but not Battle Line. But I guess he has Shot and Totten, which kind of is a standard for Battle Line, so I'll kind of let it go. Yeah.
I'm still looking for Race for the Galaxy.
Yeah, it was too.
He's got Fantasy Realms. That's great.
Nice.
Great
Very
choice.
nice. Yeah,
Silver
been
Bullet.
enjoying that quite
Biblios
a bit lately.
too.
Yeah.
Like there's some solid choices.
Another Magic Maze, another person with it.
Yeah, your favorite.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people have Magic Maze.
Yeah,
actually.
it's true. I'm surprised by how many people do. Oh, he's got the first 3 Azules. You think
And
he's gonna get
both
Queens?
of the expansions too. Like like that's a lot of Azules.
Yeah.
If you have you ordered Queen's Garden yet, or are you planning to get it, or did you get it after you sent this photo? Because it looks like that's the only thing missing on the shelf, and you probably just get rid of New York Zoo. I guess in Canvas it isn't.
Canvas is in shrink still. Yeah. Oh, I was going to say he's got a racing game shelf, but I think it's just Camel Up and Downforce. I haven't even played Camel Up yet, but Downforce is great. Awesome.
He's got
Carcassonne. Nice to see.
That's making up for the Race for the Galaxy.
A little bit, but he's still got
it
Ares
is a pretty big.
and
It is a pretty big slap in the face to Carlo that you have Ares Expedition, Terraforming Mars, and Roll for the Galaxy, but not Race for the Galaxy.
Yeah. Just go watch our Race for the Galaxy versus Terraforming Mars versus Ares Expedition review, and I'll give my thoughts on those 3, and then you don't even have to listen to what I have to say about Roll for the Galaxy because you should just know. But just a little trigger here. I'll be all right.
I don't think he's gonna have it. I think that's
no, he doesn't have it. I gave up hope a long time ago. But he's got base game Dominion with no expansions, which is impressive. I think earlier we saw up there that he also had Zombicide with no extra boxes, which we don't really see very often.
And he's got the Lord of the Rings card game with no expansion. Which
that's the living card game.
Yeah,
yes.
like.
You have good restraint. Think that's what's in some of these binders down here?
I was about to comment on your restraint, but maybe you're just hiding in this photo all the collection of expansions.
We can't even see what games are behind this computer monitor.
Yeah, I think
Fortified and there's.
I think there might be another angle I can pull up. I'll check.
All right.
Over here we've got Dixit, which is a game I'm currently getting rid of. Mysterium, which is a game I also got rid of. Sheriff of Nottingham, which is a game I also got rid of.
I've heard cool things about the Thing Outpost or Infection Outpost 31. I do want to try that one day.
Before.
It's got some. It's not quite Dead of Winter, but it has some kind of potential hidden trader type stuff going on. It sounds pretty cool.
There's a few bigger group games here, like Wavelength and stuff like that too, and Codenames and Decrypto.
Yeah, Q's and Q's. Yeah, Dixit goes up to like 12 players
Secret
or something.
Hitler, One Night Ultimate Werewolf.
Yeah, I wonder if he plays a lot of big party games, has a big game nights where he has a lot of players there maybe. But
overall, lots of solid games on this shelf, but a distinct lack of Race for the Galaxy is going to give this a 2 thumbs down from Carlo. Unfortunately, I'm giving him that
modern art either.
You.
Yeah, there was a bit of a lack of Knizia. There was some strong Knizia in the 2-player, and I guess he did have Babylonia.
Drew, thank you so much for sending in your collection. This was great. Yeah.
And thanks for the support on Patreon as well.
Yes,
we really appreciate it.
Of course. And now we're moving on to Jack. Jack's
another
collection.
patron.
Another patron. And we've got...
And I believe he said ours is the first and only channel that he has ever become a patron for. So thank you so much, Jack. It was really nice of you, and to say that we stood out to that much, it means a lot, so thank you.
So we've got a picture of Jack's closet here. You can see all of his fine clothes.
I was gonna say the fact that we can see clothes above and shoes below is like we don't normally see this. Normally, if it's in a closet, people try and crop out the
one thing I will say is that every time you go to get dressed in the morning, you get to admire your board games.
It's true.
Probably make you late for work more often.
And they're probably less likely to get stolen because if someone breaks into your house, they're not going into your closet where you keep your clothes to try and find valuable things, probably. So.
And I will also say that there are a lot of solid big box games in here, like a bunch that I am very happy to see.
Either that we've played and really like, or a lot that we want to play. Like, there's so many games that I'm like, oh, I've been wanting to play this for years. Oh, I've been wanting to play this for years.
Blood Rage, I've been wanting to play. Kemet, I've wanted to play. Spirit Island, obviously, we've talked about a lot, but I still enjoy. Unfathomable, I've wanted to play.
I've
Brass,
heard really good things about Atlantis Rising 2 as a co-op, and I'm not normally crazy about co-ops. Barrage sounds absolutely amazing. Oh, yeah, you see Brass, I skipped over.
I've never played Scythe, but I've always wanted to, and I think I might like it. I know you were kind of lukewarm on it.
I thought it was okay. I wasn't crazy about it.
This is the new Great Western Trail.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the second edition Great Western Trail. Arc Nova, we want to play both of those quite a bit.
He's got Tidal Blades, too, which is hiding in there.
Oh, yeah. Meeples and Monsters, which is a kind of newer one from AEG that I didn't even know was actually released yet. I knew it was set for this year, but...
Quacks, Clank, Arnak, Root, Wingspan. Like, there's some... Castle of Burgundy.
Yeah.
Heavy hitters in here.
He's got Cosmic Encounter, which is one that I've been wanting to play for since I got into the hobby. Basically, I've been hearing about it. It just sounds like an amazing.
So Jack
game.
is the next step to officially get a giant, whether it be like Calyx or Calyx style shelf to house all these games.
It's got to be the Calyx for you.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have to be Calyx. But that's just like my go-to.
Okay.
But just some sort of shelf because you're taking up a lot of closet space with games. They're also hidden away where your clothes are.
But then what's he going to do with the shelf in his closet? If he moves the games out of there,
well, you can put some of
buy more shoes,
some slippers, and some socks, and some
socks on a shelf.
You can buy it. You can. There's so many possibilities with 2 empty shelves in a closet. What are you talking about?
You can even fill it with board games.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I feel like that's the next step because as we'll see from the next photo. Or just in general, I feel like you're lacking in board game storage right now, which may be because you're in a smaller space.
But he's got the Roxley Iron Clays. Very nice.
What is that?
So they're fancy like poker style chips that you can use to stand in for money in games.
Got it.
Roxy makes they're really really nice. I've seen them online before. They're pricey, but if you play enough games and you use them a lot.
I guess another version of Blood Rage, but this.
I think it's just a piece of art.
Oh,
I would guess.
Got it.
I would guess, unless it's some type of promo item we're not familiar with.
Yeah,
but to me, it looks like just a piece of art.
Cascadia deserves to be on the top shelf. I'll just say that right off the bat. Great game. I'm loving it more every single time I play
very good game.
I think you should just watch it with Detective Club or something.
I would also have Arboretum more prominently displayed, but
and
that's just me. Yeah, and Azul. That's true.
Yeah.
Race for the Galaxy. There it is. Jack, thank you so much.
Right next to the Throw No Pringles can.
Yeah,
it's great.
Say, right next to the things that should have maybe been put in the recycling. No, we don't know about plastic being recyclable. I'll let you off the hook on the water bottle, but I think the Pringles can.
Well, how do you
some
feel?
Of the paper is,
how do you feel just in general about Race for the Galaxy being next to the trash? Wasn't it next to the trash?
It's not next to the trash. The trash.
What do you mean?
The trash is next to the shelf. It's not next to Race for the Galaxy specifically.
I think Jack strategically needed to pick a game for this spot, and he picked Race for the Galaxy.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna put him on the spot about that. But no,
he could have switched it with Seven Wonders Duel, but he didn't.
Here's the thing. If this was the first collection we were looking at, I might be disappointed. But after the disappointment from Clay and Drew of not having Race for the Galaxy and of both having Ares Expedition instead, so far I've got to let Jack off the hook for having Race for the Galaxy on the bottom shelf because at least he has it. And I haven't even seen... It looks like he has it ahead of... Yeah, he doesn't even have Terraforming Mars or Ares Expedition, or Roll for the Galaxy, so he didn't insult me in any way, actually.
Someone else with the Bob Ross Art of Chill.
Okay, I swear this is like the 8th person we've seen who has Bob Ross Art of Chill, and it's like, it's not even like, I would understand if someone had like 500 games, it's like, oh, it just snuck its way in there with like one of the many, but like, what is this, less than 100 games, and one of them is Bob Ross, The Art of Chill? Like, is this game better than we're giving it credit for?
I'm just most curious, like, are these the games you just, like, hate and have no regard for?
That's right,
because they're just shoved into the top of the shelf. Like, even when it comes to the Catans, you didn't even take the time to put the smallest box on top of the other one, so this isn't just precarious on top of it. You got Ticket to Ride like leaning on top of this storage box that says hammock.
Hammock?
I think that's your hammock.
Your hammock fits in that size of box?
And
hey, is this one of those like child hammock swings that's just like for like a baby to sit
in? Why wouldn't you put the hammock like over here on the side or something? Like, why is it like
also,
in
I like that it's labeled
games?
hammock. Like you don't remember which box you put your hammock in?
All I'm saying, Jack, is you're giving off that these games mean nothing to you.
Yeah.
Like you just
Wait, do you think it's
possible?
okay, after this video, we're going to look up to see if there's a game called Hammock, because why would it be in between the game? Like,
it's true.
The hammock box could be anywhere in this closet, but it's specifically in between a bunch of games.
Is this a different closet, do we think, than the other closet?
I don't think so. I mean, we could cross-reference the clothes that are...
I think it is. It's a white background.
Maybe.
Like,
maybe it is.
You have two closets that you're having to force board games into. It's time.
Also,
it's
is
time
that actually pinned on? No, that's part of the box
Yeah, it's
where it
part
says
of the
trivia
box.
game. Okay. But these games look surprisingly worn. Like, Secret Hitler looks like it's taken a lot of damage on the box. So, like, I know you're saying more neglected games, ones he doesn't like as much, but it looks like he got a lot of play.
I can't remember. Secret Hitler might actually be part of the box design. I actually can't remember now. I'm trying to remember Braden's copy, and I can't remember.
And what the heck is Pretty Princess?
Again, this is just the games you shoved in the closet. I feel like, why not just clear out one closet completely and put all your games in it? Yeah, you might have to get rid of some clothes, but like honestly, you like go through the clothes, ask yourself how much you've worn in the last year. You can probably clear out an entire shelf,
probably downsize,
fill them all with board games, and you have your board game closet, and you have your clothes closet.
Yeah, you
like,
always cull clothes before games.
Of course, 100%.
You know that.
There's board games is the fifth thing on the list that you call, right?
Well, where was clothes? Was clothes 2 or 3 or 1?
So when it comes to making decisions for like stuff in your life to call, first one is clothes, because there's always clothes you can get rid of.
Right.
Second one is like kitchen stuff that's been in drawers and not getting used. Third is probably like
it's pretty impressive for a made up list.
chairs and couches that you're not using anymore.
Yeah, so seating goes after your kitchen
seating,
stuff. Okay.
Yeah. So clothes, kitchen stuff. Seating,
and then there's one more thing between seating and board
toiletries.
Games. Oh,
toiletries, and
just
then,
excess,
and
like
board
just
games.
the extra toothpaste you're not using.
Yeah.
And
So all those get called before board games. So that should answer. What
I don't want to know what comes after board games.
You don't want to see where I live. Do you have any cups for this water? No, but I got lots of board games. Anyways, thank you so much, Jack. That was a great collection.
Yeah.
And I just think you need a shelf to store everything on. So you have a board game spot, but again, you might be limited by space, so I'm not going to.
And I would say his collection does lean more heavily towards the big box games, which again is fine. But I would say if there was one suggestion, it'd be get a few more of those Arboretum style games. I see you had Arboretum there, but plenty more big box games that you can probably get a lot of fun out of.
Yeah. Okay, this is an awesome collection. This is Mike, and he sent in his collection that has a table built into it, and it's got Notre Dame set up on it. I only know that because I owned Notre Dame briefly.
And because you can see it on the manual.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I was trying to make it.
I know what
I
game
totally
this
recognize
is.
that. But I love that the way you've built your table. Like it's even actually like permanently built in. Like it's built into into the wall. So even though you don't have like a ton of seating necessarily, if you're only ever playing with like 3 Max or whatever, having this sort of like a nook that kind of feels like a board game cafe. I love it.
And it is a very good use of the space because you can still use the table. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you might lose out on a 4th player, but if you play primarily like 3-player games and stuff, which I think Notre Dame is actually, or Notre Dame is a primarily 3-player game anyway.
Right? I think like it's 3 to 5, but I think there's a way to play 2, but it's a variant or something. Yeah.
And we'll say real quick too, Mike McGill is a producer level patron, so this is the Mike who you might have seen his name at the bottom of some of our videos. So yeah, thanks for that level of support on Patreon, Mike.
Yeah, thank you. This is a solid collection. This one I think is gonna be a little bit hard to roast because you've got custom built shelves, or it looks like they're custom built with this like table that's slid in there, and there's tons of games on here that I love. So
and it's pretty rare that you can. It's pretty rare that you have shelves that are so close that like if you're sitting down, like half these games you wouldn't even have to stand up. You just like reach over, grab a game off the shelf, and there's tons of good games here, games we really want to play.
Literally, the only thing I could think to criticize off the top is like the amount of games that you have at the top. If you just took like 4 and stood them up as like your feature games, it would only leave like 5 or 6 games that you have to call. I think you just have to call 5 or 6 games, and you have a nice clean top shelf building.
Or it just needs to be a little more intentional. Like, why is there 3 games stacked on each other on the left, but only like Sentry's Golem is like a pretty small light game, but you've got these 3 heavy big games stacked on each other here.
True.
Glenmore 2 Chronicles, though, I have to say I have it at home. It's still unplayed. I really want to play it.
It's the toppest of the top shelf villain.
It's true.
So
it's true.
Second is Lost Ruins of Arne.
Yeah. But I'm just like, what's the rhyme or reason behind, like, there's a legacy game, there's Mage Knight, which is primarily best solo from what I understand, but then you've got Inish underneath it.
Yeah.
What is this? Something... Amerigo. I thought it said Stratego. Okay, fair enough.
Let's just get this out of the way so we can get it over with. He's got Roll for the Galaxy here. We haven't seen Race for the Galaxy yet. Start. Yeah, I was about to say start shaking your head. It's
I am gonna send Mike. I'm gonna send you a Race for the Galaxy BGA invite. You're gonna accept this game, and we're gonna play Race for the Galaxy on repeat until you send me a picture proving that you have bought Race and culled Roll for the Galaxy.
Boom.
Is that too much?
That's exactly your right amount.
Okay,
I think that's great.
I was expecting you to kind of give me a hard time.
No, I'm all for forcing people to play games they may not want to.
Exactly.
That's great. You got a role player and lockup. You got I'm jumping here, but Keyflower, which we don't see nearly enough.
True, more people need to have Keyflower. Respect,
really happy about
respect.
that.
I'll forgive the Roll for the Galaxy from seeing Keyflower.
Yeah, we honestly haven't seen Keyflower in many collections.
No, it's a pretty rare one to see. Ginkopolis again, which we were just talking about. Vikings is a game I only heard about recently for the first time, and it's apparently Michael Kiesling design. Who we love his games. It's
I'm
just
intrigued.
like we never always got over. Also Zolkin should be probably closer to Teotihuacan.
I would agree. Make that little switch.
Yep, Kingdom Builder, which is just awesome. What is this? Gensates von Theben.
I'm glad you decided you were going to take on pronouncing that, because I was never going to.
You were looking at it, just avoiding it.
This is my nightmare.
Yeah. Quest for El Dorado. Lots of good games here.
Yeah,
what's Craftwagon?
He's got all 3 of the Red Raven series there.
Yep.
Looking all great together.
Root with only 1 expansion. All the previous. Previous collections showing them up having 2 expansions. Why only have 1, Mike?
And only Jaws of the Lion. We've seen a couple of just Jaws of the Lion, not base Gloomhaven. I think that it's probably brought people in that otherwise wouldn't have bought Gloomhaven, but now had an accessible way to do it.
I was going to say, seeing that is almost like validation for Jaws of the Lion to say, like, you got this and that was enough that you didn't feel the need to go get Gloomhaven, or at least not yet, which is a good sign, I think.
Yep. Isle of Cats, which is a great one. Ethnos, I'm so happy to see Ethnos on there.
It's good to see Ethnos for sure.
I'm happy Ethnos exists. I'm not always happy to see the box. It's not the nicest box, but I'm happy it exists on your shelf.
Oh, and wait, you skipped Voyages of Marco Polo over here, which is a great game. Really, really good. I've noticed there's no Marco Polo 2 here. Curious if he's played it, but either way.
There's a bunch of small box games, and as well as a whole bunch of, are these all Steffenfeld games? Notre Dame?
Yeah,
it looks like they all are.
I can't see what that one... Oh, is that...
That's Burgundy.
That's the Burgundy. Yeah. Okay, I was going to say, I can tell. Oh, that's the advanced Burgundy version.
I love that you have a Steffenfeld shelf. It's not like he's my favorite designer.
Wait a sec. He's got another... That's Trajan underneath, so he's got even more Steffenfeld games down there.
Oh, yeah. Let's take a quick look at that here.
Look at that, yeah, and then we'll go back to...
oh, yeah.
Trajan. Oh, yeah, Merlin, Bruges. Puerto Rico is not Steffenfeld, but Rialto, and what is that one? Oh, Oracle of Delphi. Yeah, so he's got at least 11 or 12 Steffenfeld games.
Fan. Yeah.
I think Luna is also Steffenfeld, yeah.
Why isn't it up here then?
I don't know. Ask him.
Yeah, why isn't it up there?
Yeah, why don't you have Puerto Rico switch with Luna? What's going on here? Is Puerto Rico what's this? Is something Andreas Seyfarth or something?
But I like I said.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Sorry, no. Just go to this middle shelf that we're gonna just look at real up close.
Let's do it.
What have you First off, La Isla, which is another Steffenfeld game, but I just want to direct your attention to Carcassonne Die Burg. Oh! It's Carcassonne the Castle.
This is the one you've been looking for.
The co-designed one that's a 2-player only version, co-designed by Rainer Knizia, which is one of my Grail games. So jealous. Mike, if ever you're done with that game and you don't want it anymore or whatever, let me know, because I would probably buy it off of you.
Yeah. Even if you're not done with it, he'll still buy it.
Exactly. Or I'll just take it for free. He's got a bunch of the Tiny Epic games, which... Okay. For how often I see people have these games in their collection, I don't see people talk positively about those games very often. I feel like everyone's always saying oh, the Tiny Epic games aren't that good. Oh, I decided to move on from those. They're not that good. But usually when you see someone with one of them in their collection, they usually have a bunch of them.
But you know what I feel like I equate the Tiny Epic series to?
What?
Is similar to the same fan... I'm not criticizing the fan base of these games.
Oh, criticism coming right up.
But
Next level criticism.
I equate it to it's the same target audience as the Exploding Kittens. It's these small box games that it's probably a step up, but I feel like it hits the same niche and popularity level that Exploding Kittens and the one with the bears that just came on, the unicorn one.
Right. Fair enough. I thought of those as more bringing people into the hobby who don't play games at all. Whereas Tiny Epic
maybe this is the next game they play or something.
Fair enough. Maybe you go to the store and you're I really like Exploding Kittens or whatever. Maybe they're well, here's another game you might like.
I feel like it's the same
audience. Maybe this gives you a taste of a
bigger
strategy game.
Moving on. So I could be wrong, but it just like they do so well. And I've played a couple of them, and it's like they're fine, but it's not something that like every time they announce a new one, I'm like, oh, what are they making tiny this time, right?
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Got to give you a hard time here because not you, but Mike, because he's got 7 Wonders Duel and Imhotep the Duel spread out with a game that doesn't have the duel in it in the middle. To be fair, at least Target is a 2-player only game, but
I know what you mean.
Then what's Lost Cities doing up here on its own? Because Fleet the Dice game isn't 2-player only. Yeah. Why isn't Lost Cities with your other 2-player games?
You could easily switch one of like either Celestia or whatever this town.
And again, because Carcassonne the Castle is also 2-player only, Undaunted Normandy is also 2 players. These games should be together.
Jaipur and the Crew. Just want to call those out. Great games. War Chest is one I really want to play just to find if I'm going to like it. And I'm also very jealous that you have Hadrian's Wall because I've been trying to track that down.
Amazing game. Yeah. Dylan's always trying to steal all my sheets for Hadrian's Wall.
Agricola Revised Edition.
Oh my goodness!
Here. Let's go view it here.
I didn't see a Feast for Odin anywhere. It's interesting, hey?
It was there. I'm not. Really? I can't go back. Oh, I deleted the photo, so I can't go back. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no. Definitely Agricola, but no Feast for Odin. Really interesting, and it's pretty like prominently featured too, next to some other.
The last collection had Feast for Odin and no Agricola. We're just balancing it out.
I don't remember. It was the last collection. We're on this current one. Prove it. Carcassonne 20th anniversary edition. Very nice. I'll be picking up a copy myself.
Do we see base Dominion, or does he just have Empires?
I don't remember seeing base. Yeah, maybe
unless
he's got. Probably in those boxes below. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
And I will say, although I don't mind these games, I think they're good games. I have culled both Red Cathedral and Empires of the North, so I'm going to give him just a slightly hard time about that.
He's also got a basket.
But no, they're decent.
A basket of card sleeves and stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say sleeves,
super handy to just start sleeving stuff. That's great. This is honestly like we're finding things to roast, but this is a pretty solid collection. Yeah. Like in terms of aesthetics, in terms of games you've collected, I am very impressed, especially because it's not a huge room either.
But I will say it's really rare. I know this seems like a ridiculous thing to point out maybe, but considering I'm someone who has like a game room that's always in a basement, it's pretty rare that we see pictures where you can see a big window next to the game table, and I think that's something the gamers need. You just need some natural light in your room sometimes. So.
Agreed.
Nice setup there, and thanks for sending that in, Mike.
Yeah, thank you so much. And our last collection we're going to look at here is Vera. So Vera sent in a couple photos. We're going to start with this guy here.
I will say something real quick. Mm-hmm. If I remember, Vera is in our Discord as well, and she's fairly active in there. She plays a lot of very heavy, complex games.
Oh, really?
I remember the first time she joined the server, she was throwing out BGA invites for like Terra Mystica, Gaia Project, all these games that are like fairly complex that we haven't played yet, and I kept feeling like, I should jump into one of these games. Like, these are all really intense games. And then she's actually the one who I played Dungeon Pets with for the first time. Nice. So she's into a lot of really heavy, complex games from what I know.
Okay.
So I'm not expecting a lot of small box games here.
The very first thing I want to comment on, because there's the thing that caught my eye the most, is how much... I'm actually going to not talk about Top Shelf Billion here to start. Okay. You've put so many nice touches in terms of plants, in terms of little like figures and stuff like that to sort of like fill in spaces. But on top of that, you've customized board game components. You have a painted dice tower for the wingspan that was also signed by Elizabeth Hargrave.
Oh, wow.
And
I didn't even notice that.
She has the Evertree that's a stand for a bunch of the figurines and everything to actually give purpose to the Evertree.
Fancy. And that's the best use of the Evertree I've seen.
Seriously, the only criticism I can have of this stuff is every time you want to play Wingspan, you got to like pull the stuff off the shelf to get at the box.
Oh, it's only a couple things. It's not the same as pulling out the Evertree.
No, sure, and maybe I don't know if that's actually like Everdell behind or what that is behind, but
art maybe.
Yeah, but either way, I really like everything you've done with like filling all the spots. Usually I would criticize that by saying like it blocks the games and stuff, but in this case I feel like it's just enhancing because it's like this is for Wingspan. Yeah, this is for Everdell. So very, very good. I'm in terms of aesthetics, I'm jealous, and you've made a Calyx look so much more than
I am curious about this fancy looking Dominion up here. Like, is this a limited edition that I just am not familiar with? Was this a custom? Like, it looks like it's
Is it just a custom container?
Is that engraved? Like,
it might just be a custom container. You can get like custom containers of like Marvel Champions off Etsy and stuff like
that.
That's
what I was gonna say. Was it like something you bought personalized off Etsy, or was there a version of this like in retail that was like? Because I've seen like Settlers of Catan wooden deluxe edition or whatever, but I've never seen a Dominion like that.
Top Shelf Billion to Arnak, even though it's in shrink wrap.
Wow. And you've got your detective games split up on either side of it, which is just making my eye twitch.
Castle of Burgundy, great choice. Isles of Cats, great as well.
Capone with something blocking it? I can't. This little diorama.
I've never heard of the Capone game, and I don't know what that figurine is either, but it sure looks nice.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You're doing Imperium and Rise of Ix. We haven't tried Rise of Ix yet. You've got Ankh and Blood Rage, but no... Ankh and Blood Rage. But where's... where's Rising Sun? Where's Rising Sun? I don't even like Rising Sun all that much. It just seemed like it's like there's some random thing in between these two games.
I'm never gonna not call it Blood Rage.
Blood Rage now, yeah.
Blood
Well, you have
Rage.
yourself to thank for calling it Ankh.
You want to throw down some Blood Rage. Yeah, there's a couple here I don't recognize as well. Yeah, I was gonna say Planetarium I don't recognize. What is this game here?
You don't. Oh, Mombasa. That's
okay,
an Alexander Pfister game.
Yeah.
You don't recognize the Business of Belonging either, do you?
Is that a book?
Wait, there's pages on. Yeah.
The network
City
again.
of the Big Shoulders. This is another one she's been trying to play on our Discord. That's another super epic like economic game. That
Wait, like it's on BGA?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's a real like it's. People say it's almost like a 18xx light. I don't know if it's quite that, but it's like a lighter. Relatively speaking, still fairly heavy, but lighter than an 18xx style economic game.
Got it.
I kind of want to try it.
How awesome is it that she has Keyflower and Key Market?
Damn,
Yeah,
we haven't actually. I don't think we've seen anyone with Key Market.
I haven't played any of the Key games besides Keyflower, and I really want to. I
Yeah.
don't expect to like them as much as I do Keyflower, but it's one of those things where when they exist, you want to at least check them out because you love Keyflower so much. You know what I mean? So I'm curious to try like Key Market and Cathedral and everything like that. But
I also noticed she had Kalis up here, but it looks like I've never seen that version of the box art. And then this is Kalis. Well, this is Kalis 1303. This is the actual remake. But
why wouldn't you put them together?
Well, in the original Kalis was like known as one of the games. Like whenever people say like, oh, the game Euro games with the boring box covers, like Kalis, I feel like always gets lumped in there with Hansa Teutonica with just like the very disinterested looking person on the front. But like this is one that I haven't seen before. I gotta go look up this version of Kalis now. Why is Kalis and Kalis 1303 not next to each other?
They need to go together. Another person with a bunch of Merchant's Cove.
Yeah.
Let me see. That's the third Merchant's Cove we see, and the second that has like a full.
I was gonna say we tend to see the expansions with it. Yeah.
There's also a bunch of shrink wrap games in the bottom here hiding around.
Yeah.
Oh, Power Grid.
I mean, and when you have a lot of heavy games in terms of rules, I can understand it's tough to get to them all. But
Power Grid just like sticking out of the shelf here. Just
how many times have you tripped over that, Vera? How many times have you or someone you love
walking
tripped
super
over Power
close
Grid?
to the shelf? Yeah. The last thing I want to call out on this shelf, which I think is amazing, I just realized what it is the fact that I think this is a custom drawing of her probably her D&D group. That would be my guess. I'm only guessing because I see like a bard and I see an archer and stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong. It could just be art maybe that you've made. I could be wrong, but I'm just guessing if you play D&D that maybe that's a custom art of your group. That would be amazing and great thing to display up there.
But now I'm wondering because we see this plant. It's a nice plant. But it looks like it's blocking a picture of a cat. Like, is this your cat that you currently have? Perhaps a cat that once passed away?
Right.
Either way, I don't know if you should be covering up that cat photo with a plant. I mean, I guess you do you. It's your house, your shelf. But, I mean, if you want to remember the cat, you're not going to with the plant in front of it. But, yeah, I don't know. And even if the cat is still alive, let's let that cat... I want to see what does this cat look like? I want to see it now.
And lastly...
I want to point out, Nippon... We got to play this. Okay, Nippon and what's the other one? Madeira. Are those really intense, super epic games that are on BGA that are from that company, What's Your Game?
Okay.
I've been wanting to play these forever. They're like over 4.0 weight on BGG. But they're super hard to like. They're like Grail games. No one can find them really. And this company puts out like one new game every few years. People are waiting for their next one. I really need to play something by this company, and those are the two that always get talked about, Nippon and Madeira, and they're both on BGA. If we need, I know she has specifically started games up on BGA, so she can maybe help us ease into them or whatever. So
I'm down. I can only handle so many 4+ weight games every month.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
We'll pick a month and we'll add it to my. It must be a D&D because there's a whole bunch of D&D manuals.
And
here,
then look, Role Player Adventures and Shrink, Rococo, the
that
Gallerist.
One I can almost
see, look, these I'm talking epic games like the Gallerist.
I can almost understand Role Player Adventures being Shrink because you're to open that up and set it up, like you need to have a group ready to do it.
It's true.
So you're probably waiting for the right group, but it reinforces to me like seeing the D&D books and the fact that she has another like campaign style game that it must be like group that she meets with. That's fair. I'm guessing, but
is that the old Orleans and the new one?
Yeah, it looks like
that's the expansion from the old Orleans. I'm not really sure.
Or isn't there another version of Orleans?
Maybe, I can't remember. Either way, there's plenty of Terraforming Mars.
Just Terraforming Mars.
She had Race for the Galaxy though, right? I can't remember.
No, I
Was
don't
that
think
the last
I don't
collection?
think she did. Yeah. There's some more over here though, in case she no Race for the Galaxy. Hey, For Sale, Cat Lady.
Yeah, and For Sale's covering up
Just
Exploding
One.
Kittens.
Yeah.
Over here.
Wait,
there's
there's another.
there's
there's
two.
another-
Oh, this is a hidden. This is the. I don't remember what the
expansion.
expansion's called now, but
I actually want to try the expansion for sale just because we played it so
you know
much
what?
that I'm curious about it.
I would still try it. I was just gonna say I just heard So Very Wrong About Games podcast talking about how the
Saying it's
expansion is
trash.
awful. Yeah,
Okay.
they said the expansion makes the game worse in every way,
Okay.
and I was like, huh.
Yeah.
I didn't like. Doesn't seem to me like a game that needs an expansion, but
Right.
I'd be
That's a
open to
fair
trying
argument.
it just because of how much we like it. But
Yeah. And that's about it. Vera,
Yeah.
you have a great shelf here that's set up. It looks like it's in your living room, but the fact that you've set this up like so nicely with the aesthetics, I'm jealous. I
Yeah.
wish I had the interior design sense to decorate my shelves like that effectively.
yeah.
But
Just show that cat photo a bit more love.
yes, and please let us know what the D&D style photo is if that is your D&D group. I'm very curious.
Yes, and wait a sec. Was there any Knizia?
No, and there was also
I don't
no.
think there was a. Wait,
no
wait, wait, wait,
no
wait, wait.
Agricola and no Feast Road either.
Yeah, I think I saw Aura and Labora. Yeah, so she at least has some Uve,
Uve.
but is there really no Reiner Knizia? Not a single Reiner Knizia game.
There's definitely some gaps, things you can work on. Hey, we all need stuff we can work
Yeah.
on.
I would also
that's how we
say,
move forward.
I feel bad because Vera so generously was saying, "Oh, who wants to play this game? Who wants to play this game?" And so many people in the Discord were like, "Oh, I don't have time to learn that. Oh, I don't know the rules for that one." I think you need a few more small box, simpler games in there so you don't scare people off. If you invite people over for games, they're like, "Oh, I don't have time to play this epic 3-hour game that has a 40-page rule book." Maybe get some Arboretum in there, the copy of the Crew.
Yeah,
I
agreed.
don't know, a couple of those smaller box games maybe. But thank you so much for sending in your collection and
thanks
for
so
being
much.
an active and just awesome member of our Discord.
Yeah, and that is it. Those are all 5 collections. So thank you so much. I think we had talked with you that you were going to close this video, and I just started closing it off. So you know what? You close off the video.
Oh, well, all I wanted to say was if you want to have your collection roasted, we'll leave our email in the description below, and we'll also put it up on screen. It's allyoucanboard@gmail.com. If you are a patron, just maybe put it somewhere in your emails just so that we know for a fact that you are, because people who are Patreon supporters get bumped to the front. We have a decent backlog on these, but we are getting through them as quick as we can. We tend to do one of these videos every month, so yeah, send us your collection if you'd like to have it raced and rated
Race
and
for the
roaded.
Galaxy. You're just thinking of Race for the
Rated
Galaxy.
and roasted, yeah. But please don't send in pictures of collections that have Roll for the Galaxy and not Race.
Just
Unless you're
not
just trying
allowed.
to mess with me. I mean, I'm all for it, I guess. But
We're going to see a bunch of collections that just have Race to the Galaxy and Shrink right now because everyone's buying this.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it's only $30, okay? But
There you go.
yeah. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.